When our protagonist Jiang arrived at the mysterious world, Foul Road, his task was to reach the Yellow Spring Hospital inpatient area within 3 minutes. To complete his task, he was given 2 tips. If you stay still for too long, you will be attacked by a mystery. And the amazing experience has just begun. Don't lose your life along the way. Touching a lamppost, Jiang found it surprisingly cold, despite the warm and humid weather. The soil, trees, and moist air mixed together created a very familiar but indescribable smell. Jiang remembered everyone telling him that this mysterious world used to be the real world, and that seemed reasonable. It all started 10 minutes earlier, when Jiang was sleeping in his class. A classmate came to bother him, waking Jiang up. "What do you want?" Jiang asked, to which his classmate replied, "Brother Jiang, you seem so calm. You must have a way to pass the test. Help me when the exam begins." Another classmate who was listening to the conversation laughed and said that one cannot rely on good looks to pass this trial. "Instead of begging Jiang, you'd better beg me," he advised. Annoyed, Jiang told the other classmate, "If you're jealous of my looks, just admit it. Stop acting like an envious person." Suddenly, their teacher entered the room and told everyone to be quiet, as the principal was there. Our protagonist, Jiang Che, is a traverser. Although this world is not very different from the one he came from, the most significant difference is that it contains a more mysterious realm beyond reality. The teacher advised the students not to be nervous because the estimated safety level this time was relatively high. Hearing this, a student reminded others that the previous teacher had said the same thing. A girl said she would stop once she ran out of resurrection opportunities, while another student assured the teacher that they would definitely make it. When the mysterious world first appeared, people could be suddenly pulled into it at any time and place. This led to speculation that it was a completely different world from reality. In the mysterious world, mysteries or ghosts have ranks, with the strongest, the SSS-level mysteries, capable of easily destroying cities. A challenger signed a contract in this mysterious world and brought back a forbidden item called Sly Stone, which finally allowed people to avoid being suddenly pulled into the mysterious world. Instead, they could choose to enter on their own and return to the real world. The government decreed that everyone must undertake a challenge in this mysterious world when they turn 18. Today, Jiang will enter this realm for the first time. His homeroom teacher tells them she'll be there, waiting for their return, and to stop as soon as their resurrection count reaches 0 if they are not entirely sure. After that, she starts the countdown. 3, 2, and 1. With 1, she presses the button of the Sly Stone, officially beginning the mysterious challenge. In the present time, as Jiang walks, he opens his status window and is surprised to see that all his stats are at 0 except for his strange power, which is at 50. Confused, he thinks, aren't students' strange power usually at 10 points? With no explanation, Jiang considers this an extra blessing for good-looking people, confident in himself. He checks his location on the map and realizes the mission location will take half an hour to reach. Well, I can get there in just 10 minutes. Yellow Springs Hospital, nice name. I'm really looking forward to it. Suddenly, a girl appears behind him and says hello. Jiang is startled and thinks, this is just the beginning. Why did I already run into a mystery? The girl hugs him and says, hello, handsome. Do you like me? Unconsciously, Jiang nods his head, captivated by her beauty. She removes her mask to reveal a half-cut mouth, then pulls out a large pair of scissors and asks, am I beautiful now? Jiang is terrified, thinking, this woman is Kuchisake Onna. She is a Japanese ghost who haunts people at night. Jiang told himself to stay calm. It's a girl with a gaping mouth. I remember how to deal with her from the teacher's explanation in class. He tried to recall the details, but had forgotten them. The ghost girl moved closer to Jiang, asking, am I beautiful? She placed her scissors against his neck, ready to cut as soon as he answered, but Jiang wasn't easily intimidated. Instead of answering, he acted like a crazy person, walking past her. Once he put some distance between them, he said goodbye and ran away. Glancing back, he taunted the ghost girl. With my strange power, I can run 100 meters in just 10 seconds. You can't catch up. But to his surprise, the ghost girl wasn't behind him. She was running right next to him. Jiang was terrified and tried changing direction, but it was futile. The ghost girl said, if you say I'm beautiful, I'll make sure you're as beautiful as me. Jiang asked what she meant, claiming he didn't understand Japanese. Hearing this, the ghost girl took out her scissors again and aimed them at Jiang. "Now, tell me," she demanded. "Do you think I'm beautiful?" Jiang stopped and pleaded with Kuchisake Onna. "Please slow down." She paused, and Jiang did a backflip to put more distance between them. Instead of answering her question, Jiang smiled and asked, "Don't you think I'm handsome too?" The ghost girl was annoyed, thinking, "Is this guy sick?" She resumed chasing him, repeatedly asking if she was beautiful. While running from her, Jiang shouted, "Has a bolt in your brain come loose? Why do you keep chasing me like this?" But suddenly, Jiang got cornered, and the ghost girl stopped to cut him. As she approached, Jiang thought, "What kind of mystery is this? She looks good in high heels." The ghost girl walked toward Jiang, repeating her question, "Am I beautiful?" Jiang wanted to ask why she kept repeating herself, but was too scared. The ghost girl used her strange power and aimed her scissors at Jiang to attack, thinking, "This kid is cunning. He's deliberately not talking to me." She decided to make him suffer a little. "For the sake of my performance, it's fine to use a bit of strange power, even if it's against the rules," she thought. She struck Jiang with her scissors, and Jiang covered his head with his hands, asking, "Am I going to die here?" Suddenly, a notification window appeared. "A mysterious threat has been detected. System activated." Just before the scissors could hit Jiang, the system stopped them. The ghost girl was surprised. "What happened? Is something blocking my attack?" Another notification window appeared before Jiang with a system hint. Deception and lies filled her hands with blood. Ugliness and loneliness made her vengeful. But who knew she also longed for kisses and warmth? Jiang was shocked, but immediately began laughing. "This is a must-have gold fortune traverser," he declared. Confident with the system backing him, Jiang pointed his finger at the ghost girl and shouted, "All right, ugly monster, I'll catch you today." But suddenly, a small system notification appeared. After the explanation, the system will disappear. As soon as this was said, the system vanished. Jiang was stunned. "Isn't this cheat system just a broken prompt? Are you playing with me?" He checked his clothes, exclaiming, "Where's my heritage sword? Where's the ultimate weapon? And where's my mighty dragon? This system just gives random hints. Is it broken?" He realized that the attack was blocked only because the system interface had popped up at that moment. He had completely forgotten about the ghost girl, who was furious at Jiang for what he'd said earlier. "How dare you tease me?" she yelled. "In my life, what I hate most are men who flirt with me." Seeing Kuchisake Onna growing angrier, Jiang thought, "Will she rip my mouth next? This is too much. I can't handle this." The ghost girl said, "I'll ask you one last time. Am I beautiful?" This time, she looked incredibly terrifying. Suddenly, Jiang held the ghost girl in his arms. She was so surprised that she couldn't say a word, blushing as she asked Jiang what he was doing. Jiang stayed silent, remembering what his teacher had said in class. "If you can understand something, you'll realize it." He thought, if the system really has nothing but clues, the answer must lie within them. He recalled the system phrase, "Who knew that she also longed for kisses and warmth?" Well, Jiang thought, a man can be reckless. But life is more important. He asked the system not to trick him, and then made a charming face. He looked into the ghost girl's eyes and said, "Honey, listen to me seriously. Once upon a time, there was true love before me, but I didn't appreciate it. I only regretted it once I lost it. If God gives me another chance." His lines were incredibly cringeworthy, and even the ghost girl disliked them. She asked Jiang why he was talking to her like that. Seeing her reaction, Jiang became a little scared, but tried to charm her again, asking if she believed in love at first sight. Her reaction remained unchanged. Seeing no way out, Jiang decided to go all out. Without giving the ghost girl a chance to react, he suddenly kissed her. She was shocked and embarrassed, trying to push Jiang away, but he held her tight, giving her a long kiss that she would never forget. After 5 minutes, Jiang finally let go of her lips. The ghost girl was mortified and called him a bastard. Jiang was blushing too, and apart from the taste of blood, there was a slight sweetness in his mouth. The ghost girl freed herself from Jiang's grasp and, while blushing, told him her name was Xiao Lei. As she ran away, she told Jiang to wait for her revenge and that she would hold him responsible. Jiang stood alone in the forest, staring after her. Suddenly, he received a notification. "Congratulations! You have successfully completed the hidden mission, Kuchisake Onna. Your earned reward is a grade F forbidden-bound item, bloody scissors." Jiang was surprised, because he hadn't expected to receive a forbidden item so early, although it was only the lowest grade. F. It was worth up to 100,000 points. Unfortunately, it was a bound item. Bloody scissors, the grade F forbidden item, is not only for cutting hair, but is also left behind by Kuchisake Onna. It cannot be traded. Confident with this new item, Jiang raised the bloody scissors, thinking, the protagonist's aura is within me. I can't be a coward. After walking for a while, Jiang found a hospital. Another notification popped up, informing him that he had successfully arrived at Yellow Spring Hospital. He then received his main task. As a nurse, Jiang has to take good care of his patients, with a task time of 7 days. Suddenly, a system message provided him with hints for the task. 1. A good nurse-patient relationship can add points, and if the patient is angry, it can be very dangerous. 2. Sleep peacefully after dark. Don't open your eyes. Jiang's task difficulty level is E. After reading the message, Jiang entered the hospital, but didn't see anyone inside. Suddenly, a girl in nurse's clothing appeared behind him, calling him a newcomer. After checking her files and confirming Jiang's identity, she informed him that he was responsible for 4 patients and could return at night to receive payment. She added that the female patient in room 401 needed special attention and that Jiang should attend to her first. Jiang, confused, asked if there was anyone else besides him. The nurse replied that he would find out after work. She paused, though, and told Jiang that one of the patients had died earlier, licking her lips and saying, "The taste is quite good." Jiang was shocked to hear that someone had already died. When he entered the reception area, there was no one around. Confused, he muttered, "Shouldn't there be a nurse on duty?" Nonetheless, he decided to proceed. Checking the details of the hospital, he found that there were 8 rooms on the floor, but only 4 were occupied by patients. He thought this was fortunate because it would reduce his workload by half. Since this was a level E mission, it shouldn't be too difficult. Jiang decided to head to room 401 first. However, its door was painted with blood, which frightened him. He tried to calm himself down, thinking, "It's not as hard as it looks." Suddenly, a system hint message popped up. "The patients in this room are very noisy. When you enter, you'll be hit by a human head. Even if it's not fatal, it will be very dangerous if you lose the nurse's pride in front of the patients." Reading the message, Jiang laughed and took out his bloody scissors, saying, "This truly is a mysterious world." He kicked the door open and asked, "Can they really throw someone's head for fun?" Just as the system had warned, a ghost woman's head flew toward him. Jiang quickly stabbed her in the head with the bloody scissors. All the other patient ghosts in the room froze at the sight. There was a boy and a little girl playing with a teddy bear, both in the room alongside the ghost woman Jiang had stabbed. Observing their reactions, Jiang thought, "Who said they were noisy? Isn't it quiet enough?" The little girl holding the teddy bear was terrified, thinking, "What's wrong with this guy?" Big Sis was just kidding, and he stabbed her in the head with scissors. The boy was equally scared, realizing that Jiang's strange power wasn't normal, and that the bloody scissors were even more powerful. Jiang introduced himself as the new nurse and said, "I heard from the head nurse that some of you requested special services. Could you please stand up?" A voice responded from below, "Brother nurse, that's me." It was the ghost woman whose head Jiang had stabbed. Hearing that she had been the one to call for him, Jiang apologized and offered to pull out the scissors. But before he could remove them, another system hint appeared, revealing what the ghost woman was thinking. She was furious and planned to devour Jiang as soon as the scissors were removed. The system message was visible only to Jiang, so the ghost woman acted innocent, asking, "Why aren't you moving? Please help me pull it out." After learning what she had planned, there was no way Jiang would remove the scissors. Instead, he opened the closed blades, leaving her head wide open. Seeing this, the other ghosts in the room were shocked and terrified. Blood splattered across Jiang's face as he smiled and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't expect your head to be so fragile." After that, Jiang received another system hint. "The operation you performed went very well. Over the next period of time, these patients will be very afraid of you, and they will finally obey." Feeling confident, he asked the others in the room if they needed any special services. Everyone was too scared of Jiang and replied that they didn't need anything. He then asked the female ghost if she wanted help putting her head back together. The terrified ghost replied, "No need, I can heal myself." Suddenly, from room 402, bed 3, a patient called for the nurse. Jiang was a little surprised by this additional task. He thought that after completing this task, as the head nurse instructed, he could head home straight from work at 6 o'clock. He went to room 402, and as he touched the door, a system hint showed a blank note. Without any system hints, Jiang assumed there were no significant problems. He went inside and asked, "Who's the patient in bed 3? Immediately, a female ghost with no eyes or mouth came running toward Jiang. Frightened herself, she hugged him. He asked what had happened, but because she had no mouth, Jiang couldn't understand her. Another ghost boy, hanging upside down in the room, told Jiang, "The child is crying, and the female ghost wants you to calm him down." Jiang was surprised to hear that there was a child in the room. Besides the 2 ghosts, there was indeed a child ghost. Jiang asked the boy ghost why they couldn't solve the problem themselves. The boy ghost looked at Jiang angrily and said, "If we could work it out, what use are you as a nurse?" Jiang replied, "What you say makes sense. I wanted to see what would happen if I let him be, because I'm not his grandma." When Jiang picked up the child ghost, a system warning appeared. If the nurse doesn't do his job, even if the patient eats the nurse, the head nurse won't say anything. Jiang was frightened to hear this. He looked at the child ghost and said, "Little brother, don't cry. Big brother will tell you a bedtime story, okay?" Jiang was confused as to why these ghosts loved to eat people so much. The child ghost smiled devilishly and said, "Okay, but I'm hungry. If the story isn't good, I'll eat you, nurse brother." Jiang replied, "It doesn't matter." The child ghost was puzzled by Jiang's calmness. Jiang then said he would tell him a ghost story. He began, "Once upon a time there were 4 babies with antennae on their heads." But before he could finish, the child ghost opened its terrifying mouth to attack, saying, "This is a bad story, I can't sleep, and I'm hungry." The child ghost lunged to bite Jiang, but bit Jiang's bloody scissors instead. Jiang glared at the child ghost and said, "Hey boy, didn't your mother teach you not to interrupt when someone is telling a story?" The child ghost was too scared to respond after seeing Jiang's fury. At 6 o'clock, all the students gathered in the ground floor hall. One student told the others he had seen Wang Wei being eaten by his patient. Another said, "The patient I worked on only had half a body. I have to continue this for another 7 days. I don't think I can take it." On one side, they all had terrifying experiences and were scared. On the other side was Jiang, annoyed because the ghosts had forced him to tell ghost stories. As they talked, the head nurse appeared. A side character among the students approached her saying, "Head nurse, you've worked hard." He was just being a sycophant. But his flattery didn't work. The head nurse used her strange power to slice off the student's head. All the other students were horrified. The head nurse called the student useless because he hadn't completed his tasks, and many patients had complained about him. She then handed out envelopes to everyone, saying, "This is your salary based on today's performance. There are vending machines on every floor where you can buy food and drinks with your points." Before leaving, she instructed the nurses to head to their floor's waiting area for the night. She also asked the janitor to follow her since his bedroom was on the ground floor. Finally, she looked at them with her glowing red eyes and warned them again, "Go to bed when it's dark. Don't open your eyes, no matter what happens. If you don't, you'll bear the risk yourself." Jiang got a bottle of water and a packet of food from the vending machine, spending 30 coins out of the 100 he had earned. He thought it was quite expensive. He suddenly noticed a flashlight in the vending machine priced at 500 coins. It seemed odd, but Jiang thought, "Forget it. Let's just sleep after eating. We'll be gathering again at 6:30 tomorrow anyway." That night, Jiang found himself standing in front of a large, frightening gate labeled Heaven Prison. Looking at it, he wondered, "How many times have I dreamed of this place this month?" He tried to open the gate, but it wouldn't move an inch. Annoyed, he lay down on the floor and said, "You make me dream of this place, but won't let me in. Are you putting the old lady to bed?" Frustrated, Jiang decided to continue sleeping. He slept both in his dreams and in real life. As he slept, a ghost girl who looked terrifying flew above his bed. The next day, at 6:30 a.m., Jiang went into the hall and heard other students complaining about the previous night. "Something was scratching the walls in our room all night. It was awful." However, Jiang didn't feel anything since he slept soundly. Looking around, he asked, "Doesn't it seem like there are fewer people?" Suddenly, a girl called out to Jiang from behind. She was blonde and visibly embarrassed as she asked if he could lend her 50 sly coins. She thought to herself, Everyone experienced something strange and terrifying last night, but Jiang looks perfectly fine. Maybe he found a treasure. She grabbed Jiang's hand and pressed it against her chest, saying, I only got 5 coins yesterday, and I spent them all on water. I'm so hungry. Jiang blushed, realizing that Li Xiao wanted to borrow money from him. She said, Jiang, why don't you lend me some coins? I'll do whatever you want. Suddenly, the head nurse appeared. Jiang told Li Xiao, the head nurse is here. Let's talk later. He thought, over 7 working days, you can only earn 700 coins at most. So, why is that flashlight in the shop priced at 500 coins? I don't even have enough to lend her. When the head nurse arrived, she announced, there are 5 losers, even though I warned them not to open their eyes after dark. They didn't listen. Do they not understand? She told the others to continue with their work and to do it immediately. After the meeting, Jiang went to room 403 on his floor. He was nervous because he had been assigned to deliver medicine to a patient in room 403. He recalled asking the flying head ghost from room 401 about the patient in 403. And she had said they didn't know each other, but added that the nurses eaten by patients were in rooms 403 and 404. The flying head ghost admitted that they had eaten some of the nurses too, but just a little. When Jiang asked the same question to the patients in room 402, they said they didn't know the patient in 403, but they did know that she had eaten a nurse's arm the last time. We hope there's some meat left this time, they added. While heading into room 403, Jiang received a system warning. Even a dog wouldn't take such bad medicine, but if it's mixed with blood or coffee, it's acceptable. Even better with broken glass. Following the system's advice, Jiang had added coffee, glass crumbs, and jasmine to the medicine. He thought, judging by the reactions of the patients in rooms 401 and 402, the ones in rooms 403 and 404 are not simple. I better be careful. The patient in room 403 was reading a book. Jiang walked in and said, Hello, I'm here with your order. He placed it in front of the red-haired ghost girl and thought, this instant coffee packet cost 50 coins. Why doesn't she just take it herself? I'm glad I had enough money, otherwise I'd have to sacrifice my own blood for the medicine. The red-haired ghost girl picked up the cup and licked it. She was amazed by the aroma and drank it all in one go. Satisfied, she said, This is delicious. She took out some money and gave it to Jiang, saying, I really enjoyed the taste. Take this money and bring me a cup of coffee every day from now on. Jiang's eyes shone at the sight of so much money. No problem, he said, thanking her for the gift before leaving. Jiang counted all the money and became emotional, saying, This is a gift from a rich lady. He went straight to the vending machine and bought 2 packs of French fries, a bottle of mineral water, and a box of biscuits. Seeing the flashlight priced at 500 coins, he said, No matter what, let's buy it first. After purchasing the flashlight, he received a notification. Congratulations on acquiring the special item flashlight. You have also unlocked the challenge mission Sorrowful Cry of the Bloody Night. Jiang was surprised and asked, What is this challenge mission? Suddenly, Li Xiao came running to Jiang, begging for help. There's a monster chasing me. It's right behind me, she cried. She promised Jiang that she would do anything if he saved her. But as she got closer, he punched her in the face, sending her flying to the ground. Confused, Li Xiao made an innocent face and asked Jiang, Aren't we classmates? How can you do this to me? Hearing her call him a classmate, Jiang told her not to pretend. He pointed a finger at her and said, With my intelligence, I can clearly see through your trick. Li Xiao has a mole on her left breast. Next time, be more professional. Realizing she was an F-rank mystery, Jiang thought, What a perfect time for training. Looks like we're in for a big fight. Let's have fun. The ghost, disguised as Li Xiao, revealed her true form and laughed loudly, saying, So you can see through my disguise. In that case, I'll make you my prey tonight. She didn't expect Jiang to fight back, but he used his bloody scissors to stab the ghost. The ghost was taken aback and begged Jiang to wait, but he kept stabbing her, saying, Haven't you heard about villains who die from talking too much? Don't you know better than to sneak up on someone and not strike before it's too late? The ghost called Jiang despicable, accusing him of cheating and sneaking up on her. But Jiang didn't care and continued stabbing her. At 6 o'clock, everyone gathered in the hall. The head nurse gave Jiang 3 envelopes and praised him, saying, You did well today. Keep it up. Jiang was delighted to receive the 3 envelopes. Other students were jealous because Jiang got both credit and extra coins. They were confused because he hadn't even read the manual, so they wondered why he was getting praise. A girl wondered if Jiang wanted to work with her. But then class president Li Jiahao stepped forward, saying, "Classmates, please calm down. Since it's still early, I want to tell you something," he continued. "As you can see, we're down to only a few students on the second day. As class president, I have to say that if we don't work together, none of us will survive. Money, fame, power, that's the future. If we want to change our lives, we must seize this opportunity." He showed everyone a sword and said, "I just got this sword. It's not a forbidden item, but it can damage mysterious creatures. There's something about the flashlight too, but we can only get it if we manage to buy it. I suggest we figure out how to earn more sly coins and start collecting them." Jiang listened to Li Jiahao's thoughts, realizing he was just trying to find out why the head nurse praised Jiang and to get other people's coins for free. "That's a good plan, but I'm not interested," Jiang thought. He told the class president, "If you have nothing else to say, I'll be going now." Li Jiahao tried to stop him, saying, "Jiang, we can work together. If you're in danger, meet me on the 7th floor. I have a sword. I can protect you." Jiang walked away, saying he would consider it. He went back to his room and checked the details of the flashlight, finding that it could illuminate darkness and dispel shadows. It's a must-have item for traveling at night and has a 3-hour time limit. He thought, "This challenge is called Sorrowful Cry of the Bloody Night. The task requires this flashlight, which tells me to go out at night searching for clues." Although the head nurse had warned him not to open his eyes at night, Jiang now had forbidden items and a system, so there was no reason to stay put. The results of the first mystery challenge are crucial. If I can complete the main quest, I'll secure a guaranteed spot, even if my college entrance exam grades are poor. If I complete the challenge mission, I'll have famous schools lining up. Cooperation is an option, but this is the mysterious world. Everyone has their own interests, so it's not for me. Besides, Li Jiahao isn't a good person. After thinking it over, Jiang decided to take a nap and see what the night would bring. At 10 p.m., he woke up and said, "I almost fell asleep." But suddenly, he heard a noise outside. Jiang was a little scared and asked, "What's that? Is this an inpatient room?" When Jiang looked around his room, he noticed that the entire design had changed. He was scared and asked, "What is this place? Is the hospital building really like this?" He turned on his flashlight, which started a 3-hour countdown. Jiang had a feeling this would be more dangerous than he initially thought. He went to the door because he heard voices outside and tried to peer through the peephole, but someone was staring back at him through it. Jiang was startled, and then someone outside cried, asking him to open the door because something was chasing her. Jiang recognized the voice as Luo Mengwei's and wondered, isn't he usually quiet? In a scared voice, Luo Mengwei pleaded with Jiang to open the door. However, Jiang was hesitant and thought, "I can't open this door. I don't know what's out there. Besides, we all have a chance to resurrect. If I'm rash, I'll only hurt myself." His decision proved correct, because the voice outside wasn't actually Luo Mengwei's, but belonged to ghosts imitating him. In a terrifying voice, the ghost said, "I hate you, Jiangche. Go to hell." Blood then started seeping into Jiang's room from the hallway. After seeing this, Jiang guessed that the creature was gone and relaxed. But suddenly, he heard the same voice behind him saying, "Jiang, why didn't you save me?" He quickly turned around and turned on his flashlight, asking, "How did this thing get in here?" The voice continued, "We've studied together for 3 years. How could you do this?" But as soon as the flashlight beam touched the ghost, it started to burn and screamed, "I hate you! Just die!" Within seconds, the ghost burned up completely and disappeared. Seeing how effective the flashlight was, Jiang said, "Thank goodness for this flashlight. The ghost can enter directly but knocks on the door first. It must have been an actor in a past life." Suddenly, he heard another sound and asked, "What's that? Is that a woman crying?" He immediately received a notification saying, "Jiang has obtained a mission clue. Whose crying voice?" Jiang's mission, Sorrowful Cry of the Bloody Night, is now 10% complete. Jiang thought, a high challenge completion rate means better rewards upon completion. If I want to keep increasing my progress, I have to find this crying woman. But with this noise, she's not here, and I only have 2 hours and 47 minutes left. I don't have enough time. Even the system wasn't triggered. The only thing left to do is sleep until tomorrow. With that, Jiang went back to sleep. The next day, Jiang went to room 403 to meet the red-haired ghost girl. He told her that in the middle of the previous night, someone had stayed up late and disturbed people by crying loudly. She was so noisy, he said, and asked if the red-haired ghost girl knew what had happened. The red-haired ghost girl became serious and told Jiang to ignore it, warning that the head nurse would kill them if they got involved. She grabbed Jiang and told him to let it go. Jiang was terrified after hearing her warning. After hearing that, Jiang left the room, realizing that this matter had something to do with the head nurse, and all the patients seemed to be afraid of her. He decided to complete the task the head nurse had given him today, and then find a chance to investigate further. Today's task for Jiang was to find the patient in room 404 on the 8th floor. Suddenly, someone approached Jiang from behind, calling him brother. Surprised, Jiang immediately turned around and pulled out his bloody scissors to attack. But it was his classmate Fu standing behind him. Jiang asked Fu what he was doing. Fu explained, "Brother Che, isn't your task today to go to the 8th floor? I cooperated with Zhao Jun before, and we were in charge of the patients on the 8th floor. However, when Zhao Jun went to the toilet to relieve himself, he suddenly disappeared in the blink of an eye. After he was resurrected, he told me that he was asked whether he wanted red paper, yellow paper, or white paper, and he chose white paper." Jiang didn't understand and asked Fu what he meant. Fu pleaded with Jiang, saying, "Brother Che, now that Zhao Jun has quit, I know you won't team up with me, but I hope you can please help me once." Hearing that, Jiang was surprised at first, but then smiled and said, "Fine, I believe your words. I will do my best." Later, Jiang went to the 8th floor washroom. Suddenly, a system hint popped up, asking, "Jiang, are you here to defecate, right?" Jiang thought the system had watched too many TV series. Suddenly, from the gap below the door, a ghost's hand came inside, holding 3 papers in red, white, and yellow, saying, "Hey, visitor, you—" But before it could finish, Jiang opened the door and hit the ghost's face, completing the ghost's sentence with, "Do you want red paper, yellow paper, or white paper?" The ghost was very scared, thinking, "Isn't that my line?" Jiang took out his bloody scissors and started stabbing the ghost, shouting, "Bring back Zhao Jun's life! Do you not think it's enough to stay in the toilet? Then you eat people!" While coughing, the ghost said, "Brother, I was wrong," but Jiang continued stabbing, saying, "Do you know how expensive cremation is now? Do you know how much it costs to make a banquet?" The ghost said he would pay him. Hearing that, Jiang stopped. The ghost took out some money and offered it to Jiang, saying, "Brother, this is all my money. Please let me go." After getting the money, Jiang let the ghost go. The ghost said, "That man can have a friend like you. What a blessing in his life." Jiang said, "You mean Xiao Jun? I don't know him very well." The ghost was too shocked, and then Jiang grabbed the ghost's hair and demanded to know where the patient in room 404 was. The frightened ghost said, "I know. He's in the ladies' room next door. I'm not lying to you. Please forgive me." Jiang entered the ladies' room and found the ghost from room 404, a bald old man. Jiang had to take this bald ghost back to his room to complete today's task. Jiang received a system hint saying, "As a qualified man, what's wrong with alcohol addiction? Only alcohol is accompanying me at this time." When the bald ghost saw Jiang, he said, "Little devil, if you still want to live, don't bother me. I'm reading a book." Jiang didn't say much, but asked the bald ghost if he wanted some Mao Tai. Just those words were enough to coax the bald ghost out of the ladies' restroom. In room 404, Jiang gave the bald ghost some Mao Tai, and after drinking it, the ghost was satisfied. Seeing him drink the Mao Tai, Jiang said, "Big brother Tilda, do you know who is crying in the middle of the night? I can't sleep because of the noise." Jiang thought, "This old man is crazy enough. This bottle of wine costs 50 coins. The price is very expensive." The bald ghost, now drunk, asked Jiang why he asked that. Jiang said, "I'm just curious. I also have a few more bottles of wine. I'll definitely give them to you, big brother." The bald ghost paused and then said, "Kid, don't say I didn't warn you. If you investigate this matter anymore, the head nurse will definitely kill you. But if you're really curious, just go upstairs and have a look." Just as the ghost had suggested, Jiang went to the rooftop. However, no matter how he looked at it, it seemed like just a normal hospital roof. Gazing out, he thought, "Even the sky is red. I don't know whether this place is the entire mysterious world or just a small part of it. I couldn't even see the path I walked before, let alone the other buildings. Is this how the mysterious world works? But he stopped himself, thinking, now is not the time to ponder these things. I'm here to find a clue. If I can complete the challenge mission, my journey to this mysterious world will end early. If I fail during the day, I can try again at night. In a corner, he saw something. When he got closer, he discovered it was a cheap version of a phone. Just as he picked up the phone, he received a notification. Congratulations! You have obtained a special item. Proof. Now, the mission, Sorrowful Cry of the Bloody Knight's completion, progress is at 50%. Jiang was shocked that it had increased to 50%. Looking at it, he felt lucky, thinking, it's a key item and a hint. Suddenly, he received a system hint. The unknown secret is hidden in the dark. When you peek at other people's secrets, maybe others will also stare at you. Pondering the hint, Jiang wondered what it meant. But suddenly, a red aura surrounded him, making him fearful, thinking, this is a mystery above F rank. I can fight F rank mysteries, but not those above F rank. He sensed the aura was that of the head nurse. She asked Jiang what he was doing here. Jiang calmed himself and told the head nurse he was just out for a break. The head nurse became angry to hear that Jiang was ignoring his assignments. Seeing her anger, Jiang said, no, I am not ignoring the task. I've brought back the patient from room 404, but the patient's room is really smelly, so I just wanted to get some fresh air. While talking to her, Jiang took out his bloody scissors, thinking, if found out, I can't beat her with my current strength. If it really doesn't work, I will just use one chance to get back up. However, the head nurse didn't attack Jiang and told him to get out. Then, at 6 p.m., everyone gathered in the hall. Other students were angry with the class president, saying, if it wasn't for seeing him have the sword last time, we wouldn't have given him all the money. As a class president, he had been embezzling their sly coins. A guy suggested that they reclaim their money, but they didn't do anything because the class president had a sword. Meanwhile, Jiang got 50 sly coins today. After seeing that, a classmate of Jiang taunted, saying, luckily I'm not teaming up with you. I thought that was amazing, but it looks like it was just luck. Jiang didn't listen to them. But now, he regretted, thinking, as expected of the class president, he robbed his classmates' money. Why didn't I think of that before? Then, when Jiang went to his room, he tried opening the phone he got on the rooftop, but it wasn't turning on. Remembering the system's hint about a little-known secret hidden in the dark, Jiang wondered if this meant the phone could only be used at night. Then, at 7:30 p.m., Jiang finally turned on the phone. He was proud of himself, saying, as expected of me, I'm really good at predicting things. He started checking the phone and found only one video on it. Confused, Jiang played the video. But when it played, Jiang himself was in the video, sitting on the bed watching. Suddenly, Jiang from the video looked back and smiled creepily. Jiang was shocked to see that. It was a ghost that had taken Jiang's form. Then, the ghost Jiang in the video took out a knife and started cutting his face. And just as he did that in the video, Jiang's face in real life got a cut. Jiang was scared to see this synchronization having an effect on him. But the ghost Jiang in the video didn't stop there. He pointed the knife at himself and was about to stab himself. Jiang was too shocked and scared to see that, asking the ghost Jiang from the video to stop. But the ghost Jiang from the video didn't stop and got ready to stab himself. At that moment, Jiang remembered that his flashlight's light could illuminate the darkness and dispel shadows in the darkness. This was a necessary item for night travel. Jiang thought using the flashlight was the solution. He immediately turned on his flashlight and lit up the phone's screen. The ghost Jiang's screams came from the phone, pleading with Jiang to stop and turn off the flashlight. But Jiang didn't stop, and the ghost Jiang was dispelled. Jiang was very scared and said, this is very dangerous. It's a good thing this flashlight is very effective against mysteries, otherwise I would have died. Looking at the phone, he thought, this is indeed a key item that increases progress by 30%, and it is very dangerous to use. Jiang noticed that the video on the phone had a runtime of 27 seconds, and wondered if this could be the original video. When Jiang played the new video, he saw a nurse screaming, asking a man to let her go. The man laughed at her, saying, pretty little girl, just follow me. When the nurse tried to get away, the man grabbed her hand tightly and said, you are strong enough. I like it. The nurse shouted, asking the man not to touch her, but the man didn't let her go and used force, saying, do you want to drink that again? Even though I've been good to you. The nurse screamed, calling the man a bastard. But he still didn't let her go, insisting, "Be honest with me, otherwise you will suffer." He slapped the nurse, and she fell to the ground. In that moment, the nurse's face clearly showed on the camera, and there was a mole on the corner of her mouth. Seeing that, Jiang realized that this girl was the head nurse when she was young. Jiang thought, if this girl is the younger version of the head nurse, then who is this man? But before Jiang could see who the man was, the video ended there. He was surprised and asked, "Why doesn't the task progress increase? Is there any missing information?" He replayed the video again and again to see if there was anything he could find. On the 9th second, Jiang found something. He saw the room number, which was 1401. Just as he saw that, a new notification came saying, "You got a hint from challenge task. Sorrowful cry of the bloody night. Now clear progress is at 60%. Seeing the clear progress at 60%, Jiang smiled and said, "Higher progress is closer to the truth." Now that the progress had reached 60%, Jiang decided to search for room 1401. At night, using the stairs, Jiang went to the 14th floor. Because he used the stairs, he got very tired. He wanted to take the elevator, but he was told by the system that it was dangerous. Seeing the sign for the 14th floor, Jiang thought room 1401 should be on this floor. Suddenly, he heard the sound of someone's high heels. So he hid behind a wall. The source of the sounds was a ghost in nurse's clothes, covered in blood and holding a knife. The nurse ghost didn't see Jiang and went ahead, fortunately not catching him. But suddenly, it dawned on Jiang that there was another female nurse here. Before he could understand more, some small ghosts surrounded Jiang. They called him older brother and asked to play together. These small ghosts had tens of eyes, and their smiles looked very creepy. One of them climbed up to Jiang, saying, "Brother, come and play with us." Jiang got too scared to see them and immediately turned on his flashlight. With the help of the flashlight, Jiang got rid of them. Amid all the commotion, the female nurse ghost found Jiang. She stood right behind him and called him an evil insect. Jiang was terrified. He turned around and flashed his light at her while exclaiming, "You cheat! You can't handle this!" However, instead of disappearing, the female nurse ghost fell to her knees and began crawling. Jiang was scared because the flashlight wasn't working on her. He ran upstairs exclaiming, "Why do you guys love chasing people so much?" The female nurse ghost chased after him, taking out her knife and throwing it at Jiang, who barely dodged it. It was just a gamble at that time. Jiang saw the door to the rooftop, kicked it open, and went on to the rooftop. The female ghost followed Jiang, but didn't come onto the rooftop, and stopped. Seeing this, Jiang took a sigh of relief and said, "Luckily my intuition was right. When people encounter this situation, they definitely run back. But with the nurse's speed, they would be caught within minutes." Jiang looked around the rooftop and said, "The clue related to that scream was fear. Those patients are afraid to cry. The nurses who are in the inpatient building will, of course, be affected, and the source of her crying is the roof, which means something is on the rooftop." And Jiang was right. From behind him, a voice asked who he was. It was a little girl with white hair, alone and crying, asking Jiang who he was. Suddenly, a system message informed Jiang what the little girl was thinking. The little girl was wondering why everyone was scared of her. "I also want to eat snacks, play, and chat with friends. Did little Xiao make a mistake? But I obviously didn't do anything," she thought. The girl was barefoot and skinny, and seeing her, Jiang's heart melted. He patted her head, saying, "Your name is Xiao, right? Good name." He told her he was here to play with her. Then Jiang took the girl to the vending machine on the 14th floor. He bought her many snacks and candies. Little Xiao was thrilled to receive all that. Then Jiang asked Xiao if she could accompany him somewhere. Little Xiao said she would go wherever Big Brother goes. She was very happy to eat all the snacks, and Jiang wiped her mouth, thinking, "She's such a nice and innocent kid. I don't know where her mom is, and she's not even wearing a pair of shoes." Sure enough, with Xiao present, the female nurse did not appear. Thinking this, Jiang took little Xiao to explore the 14th floor. Next, he went to room 1401, as shown in the video, to find out more. He slowly opened the door and took a step inside. Little Xiao followed him, but Jiang stopped before entering room 1401. Surprised, little Xiao asked, "Brother, what's wrong?" But Jiang covered her eyes with his hand, telling her not to look. Jiang was too shocked to see that room, thinking, "How can this room be so dirty? What happened here? When Jiang looked inside, he saw a wooden cross with a man's corpse hanging from it. Suddenly, the man opened his eyes. Seeing this, Jiang thought, this is too horrific for a game. Right in front of the man on the cross, a nurse ghost was standing with a knife. When Jiang noticed her, he wondered, is she the ghost nurse I met in the corridor just now? The nurse started walking towards the man, and as she approached, the man began begging, saying, I really feel guilty. But the nurse ghost stabbed him. Jiang was terrified by the sight. But then it occurred to him, isn't this room 1401? Little Xiao, whose face Jiang was covering, asked him what was happening. Jiang thought there were many pools of blood on the floor, and the scene resembled a skinned duck, a sight not meant for Xiao. Suddenly, the man on the cross noticed Jiang, first slowly asking for help, then screaming for it. However, the nurse ghost cut his tongue, silencing his pleas. Jiang was horrified to see that the man appeared dead, but then the man woke up again, pleading, It hurts. Let me go. I admit my mistake. Please let me go. Jiang was shocked. Unable to understand how this was possible, the scene replayed. The man begged again, saying he would never do it again. But the nurse ghost attacked him once more. She continued stabbing him, and after dying, the man came back to life repeatedly. Hearing the man's screams, little Xiao also became scared and said, Brother, I'm not feeling well. I want to go back. Jiang said, Okay, let's go back. Don't open your eyes just yet. Xiao agreed, and they both returned to the rooftop. Little Xiao was still covering her eyes and asked Jiang if she could open them. Jiang said, Sure, and took out a big lollipop. Seeing that, little Xiao became very happy and asked if it was for her. Jiang confirmed it was and asked if she liked it. Little Xiao was thrilled and told Jiang she loved it very much, but also realized that Jiang was about to leave. She asked, Will Big Brother come again to play with Xiao Xiao next time? Jiang patted her head and said, Of course. See you soon. Suddenly, a notification appeared saying, You got hints from the challenge mission, Sorrow of the Bloody Night. Completion progress is 70%. Seeing the message, Jiang thought, 70%. Only a few steps left to complete the challenge task. After that, Jiang left the rooftop. As he walked down the stairs, he reflected on the significant rewards from the challenge mission, which included admission recommendations to prestigious universities, and a bonus from the school for those who complete the challenge alone, amounting to 1 million. Despite having transmigrated here, his background and family were the same as in his previous life. His parents had disappeared 10 years ago, and his sister, who should have been enjoying her life, continued to work hard to raise him. Thinking about all the hardships she had endured, Jiang resolved, I must complete a challenge mission. This way, my sister can live a good life in the future. Suddenly, he encountered the class president, Li Jiahao, on the way. Li Jiahao was holding the flashlight from the vending machine. Jiang was surprised to see that, thinking, Li Jiahao managed to get 500 sly coins? Looks like he also opened a challenge mission. Seeing Jiang there, Li Jiahao rudely said, Jiang, you really made it here. Looks like we have the same clue. Get out of the way. Don't get in my way. But Jiang didn't care. He went ahead, saying, I suggest that you don't go, although I don't care if you die. The 14th floor was deemed unsafe because little Xiao had returned to the roof, making a trip there, essentially a search for death. Hearing this, Li Jiahao became angry and shouted, You came back alive! Why can't I? Don't even think about taking it all for yourself. I have to get the reward from the challenge mission no matter what. At 6:50 a.m., a girl was very angry, exclaiming, You idiot! Are you kidding me? Give the patient a forced injection? How could there be a mission like this? Another girl responded, I've long felt that something was wrong. This is my first time entering the mysterious world, and there's interference from the school. Shouldn't the overall difficulty be F level? But our task difficulty is level E. Hearing them, Li Xiao asked, Isn't level E difficulty for the next class? Fu replied, That's right. They've killed 13 people, and those 13 who died all did so after Ye Qingyao signed a contract with a spirit. They all had a spirit. However, in the end, only Ye Qingyao, who contracted that spirit, survived. Hearing all this, a boy said, I've had enough, and I don't want to play anymore. Although there is a possibility of resurrection, the pain feels real. I don't want to be tortured to death by those things. A system notification appeared in front of that boy, asking, Do you want to get out of the mysterious world? After exiting, it will be considered a failure. The boy clicked the confirmation button and left. Seeing this, 2 more girls decided they would stop too. Observing his classmates' decisions, Jiang thought that the tasks handed out today had brought everyone to a halt. But suddenly, he saw Li Jiahao. Jiang was surprised that Li Jiahao had actually come back alive from the 14th floor, and wondered if there could be a hidden boss. Li Jiahao approached Li Xiao and Fu, who had not exited the mysterious world along with Jiang and Li Jiahao. He asked them if they still had some awakening points, but both Li Xiao and Fu were unable to respond. Jiang was shocked and asked, "What do you mean by that reaction? Have you all died once?" Li Jiahao said, "Yes, after parting ways with you, I was stabbed to death by the nurse on the 14th floor." Li Xiao confirmed that she was stabbed to death by a roof that suddenly fell yesterday. Fu said, "I died from being hit by a cabinet." Hearing them, Jiang was surprised and asked, "Then why don't you stop? You don't have any resurrection points anymore. If you die this time, you will really die in the real world," Li Xiao said. "As long as you can complete the main quest, you'll have a chance to enter Qingdao University. What's more, after being framed by those mysteries, it has raised my fighting spirit. I won't give up so easily," she proudly proclaimed. "Either I go to Qingdao University or to Qingming. Let's finish today's task and show them how strong I am." Later, Jiang finally finished giving all his patients their injections. "Well, it wasn't that hard because my patients are really cooperative, or you could say I know how to handle them," he thought. As he wondered about the others' missions, he left the room and found Li Jiahao waiting for him. Jiang was surprised that Li Jiahao needed his help with an assignment. "I'll refuse it. I have no reason to take the risk for you, because your attitude is sometimes good and sometimes bad, which scares me," Jiang said. But Li Jiahao immediately knelt down and apologized, saying, "I'm sorry for what happened earlier. I have no other choice. This mysterious challenge mission is very important to me." Hearing this, Jiang asked, "What's that got to do with me? Besides, you don't have to apologize to me because I wasn't fooled about the coins." Disappointed, Li Jiahao apologized again for bothering him, and was about to leave when he mentioned that he had met a patient who knew the head nurse, and informed him that room 1401 was under the head nurse's responsibility. That's why he thought about checking it out yesterday, but missed the chance to revive. "He also gave me a hint to go to the head nurse's room, but it seems I have no chance now," Li Jiahao added. Hearing that, Jiang's attitude immediately changed. He put his hand on Li Jiahao's shoulder, saying, "Hey, class leader, what are you talking about? We are classmates. How can we not help each other? I even avenged Jiaojun yesterday. If you don't believe me, just ask." Then Li Jiahao shared details about his mission. A while later, a fat ghost who was eating in bed said, "Looks like I need to ask the head nurse to change my bed again." Suddenly, some people burst into the room, destroying the door. They were the ghosts from floor 4, whose leader was Jiang. The fat ghost was surprised and asked, "What's this?" But room 404's old ghost shouted, "Who bullied my little brother Jiang?" And like that, all the ghosts from floor 4 entered and forcefully injected the fat ghost with medicine. Li Jiahao was shocked because that was an E-level mystery, and Jiang could actually command his patients. Then Jiang asked him about the nurse's headroom. Later, Jiang stood in front of the elevator. According to Li Jiahao, the head nurse usually rested on the negative 4th floor, and the elevator there could take him. Jiang pressed the button for the negative 4th floor. As the elevator announced it was going down, he waited. Beside him stood another ghost, with pink hair and all black eyes, who asked if he was going to the morgue. "Yes, I want to go to the morgue," Jiang confirmed. The pink-haired ghost was surprised to hear that Jiang wanted to go to the morgue and thought, "This person must be taking the wrong drug, because even though I am not human myself, I am also afraid of ghosts like them." The pink-haired ghost then told Jiang that the hospital had been around for hundreds of years. Apart from treating patients, it also sent the dead to the morgue, where unrecognized corpses often piled up. And maybe because the morgue was too quiet, the corpses there often disappeared and ran outside to play. Jiang was surprised and asked her again if she was saying that the dead could still come out to play. The pink-haired girl smiled and said, "Yes, it's really weird." She added that to identify them, the head nurse specially hangs a red number plate on each patient's hand. She showed her arm to Jiang and gave a creepy smile, saying, "See, the one on my hand doesn't look the same." However, she became confused because her red number plate was not on her waist. The pink-haired ghost panicked, exclaiming, "Where is my identification bracelet?" Jiang showed her a red number plate, asking if she was looking for this. The pink-haired ghost took the bracelet from Jiang, thinking, "Since when did this guy take my bracelet?" Suddenly, the elevator stopped and its doors opened. Seeing that it was a negative floor, the pink-haired ghost got scared and began pressing the closed door button, praying for it to close quickly. Seeing her like this, Jiang asked why she was suddenly so excited, but the pink-haired ghost didn't reply. She started to get angry, shouting, "Damn it! Why is this broken door always unresponsive? It should have been fixed long ago." But suddenly, a sound came from outside. Both Jiang and the pink-haired ghost looked outside to check what it was. They saw a boy in the hallway making that sound, but when the boy looked back, they saw that his head was open. He was an open-head ghost. When he saw the elevator, he started running towards it at high speed. Seeing him coming, the pink-haired nurse got too scared and started pressing the button like crazy. Finally, the elevator doors began to close. And seeing that, the pink-haired ghost was relieved, exclaiming, "We are safe!" Jiang stopped the door from closing with a serious expression and asked her, "What are you doing?" The pink-haired ghost was confused about what Jiang was talking about. Just then, the open-head ghost arrived at the elevator. Jiang looked at the pink-haired ghost and said, "Don't you see that someone wants to take the elevator? If someone had urgent business and was delayed because they missed the elevator, wouldn't that hurt your conscience?" The pink-haired ghost grew more confused, thinking, "Isn't he a ghost? Why is he even talking about conscience? What's up with this guy?" Now, there were 3 people in the elevator: Jiang, the pink-haired ghost girl, and the open-head ghost. Seeing the open-head ghost, Jiang asked, "Brother, how do you wash your head?" Both the open-head ghost and the pink-haired ghost were annoyed by Jiang. Then, the elevator went to the negative 2nd floor, where a girl whose only upper half of the body was visible begged Jiang to let her in the elevator. There was a wheelchair for that ghost to move around, so we will call her Wheelchair Ghost. Jiang also took that wheelchair ghost into the elevator. Looking at him, Jiang asked, "Sister, how do you go to the bathroom?" On the negative 3rd floor, there was an old grandma ghost. Jiang helped her get into the elevator. Seeing that Jiang was not afraid of her, she became happy, thinking, "This is really good. One's courageous body is the best." With a watering mouth, the old grandma ghost said, "I really like his kindness." But when that old grandma ghost looked inside the elevator, she became nervous to see so many ghosts inside. Jiang looked at the grandma ghost's teeth and asked her, "Where did you buy your dentures? Is there a dental clinic in the mysterious world?" Hearing all the nonsense from Jiang, the pink-haired ghost got very angry, saying, "Enough is enough." She opened her big second mouth, which was on her neck, thinking, "I'm going to eat this silly boy." But the open-head ghost intervened, asking, "I've been listening to his nonsense all this time. Can you give it to me?" That wheelchair ghost intervened, saying, "It's nonsense. He is mine. Do you know the meaning of modesty, you deformed ghost?" Grandma Ghost slapped the wheelchair ghost, saying, "What did you say? Why are you acting impolite in front of this grandma? This grandson is mine." While all 4 of them fought over who was getting Jiang, the elevator arrived on the negative 4th floor. They all continued fighting, but suddenly the pink-haired ghost noticed and asked the others if they were stupid because Jiang was gone. Jiang had left the elevator thinking, "I'd better sneak away." In fact, the system had given him a hint while he was searching for room 1401. These mysterious creatures only cared for themselves, and they never gave up their prey to anyone. If there were more wolves than meat, they would naturally fight for it. Actually, Jiang was ready to fight all 4 of them, but they didn't look very smart. Then Jiang went to the morgue. He entered and looked around the morgue. Suddenly, he got a system hint saying, "This is a very quiet place. No disdainful looks, no harsh voices, only here I can sleep well." Jiang didn't expect there to be corpses here, but when he looked closely, he found that some of them were his classmates. While Jiang was walking around looking for any clues, suddenly in a corner, he noticed a diary lying around. There were also some photos there. Jiang opened the diary and started reading. On August 25th of year X, it read, "Practiced for the first time. Finally, I managed to fulfill my dream of many years. Even though I am very busy, I am very happy. I want to be a doctor like my teacher and help more people." On September 12th of year X, it continued, "Ching came to the inpatient department today. A very cute little boy from a small island came to the hospital. He didn't cry and finished the injection very cooperatively. That kid is so cute." Imagining my childhood, after reading 2 pages, Jiang received a notification. You have obtained challenge hint, old photo. Mission Sorrowful Cry of the Bloody Night completion progress is at 90%. Jiang continued reading. The 28th of March, Year X. Teacher Niu Tian praised me, saying that I have a strong learning ability and he hopes I will inherit his post. I am very happy because the person I admire the most is the teacher, and I will not let him down. Suddenly, the writing in the diary became more aggressive. 9th month, Year X. Why did the teacher do such a thing? I obviously look up to him a lot and definitely consider him a role model. How can this happen? Why is he doing this to me? I'm scared. Why is no one coming to help me? This is disgusting. Dirty. Story continued. Year X, month X, day X. Why is everyone looking at me like that? The voices of those people are all around me. I don't want to hear it. It's not my fault they don't know anything. Only here I can rest easy. I want to show that I am the victim. The writing grew more aggressive. Year X, month X, day X. I will smash them all. I will kill them all. I will torture you. Jiang was shocked to read all this. He hadn't expected that behind this challenge lay a hidden story. He received another notification. Jiang successfully obtained challenge hint, the killer's tale. Now, Sorrowful Cry of the Bloody Night's completion progress is at 99%. Jiang was annoyed to see that it stopped at 99%. He wondered if this was intentional by the system. Suddenly, many red warning notifications started to come in. Attention all challengers. This mysterious challenge is temporarily switched to nightmare mode. After the night, the killer from 50 years ago will appear again. Li Jiahao, Li Xiao, and Fu were all shocked to hear that a new killing round was coming. Hearing that it was nightmare mode, Jiang smiled because this once-in-a-century event happened to him. He knew that, even though the nightmare difficulty level had the highest death rate, the rewards were completely different from the normal mode. Suddenly, everyone received a new message. Challenge mission changed. Sorrowful Cry of the Bloody Night has now turned into Challenge Mission. The Last Survivor. Seeing this new message, Jiang got very angry, thinking, does this system even have a conscience? I managed to increase its progress to 99%, but you changed the mission. Suddenly, Jiang heard a sound from behind. It was the head nurse. She was surprised to see Jiang there and asked him how he came to be here. Jiang was also surprised to see her there. Caught looking at someone else's privacy, he thought, there's no time to explain. I'd better run first. And he ran away from there. The head nurse just stood there. She didn't even stop Jiang. Then, Jiang went to the first floor by elevator. When the elevator doors opened, Li Jiahao, Li Xiao, and Fu were waiting there for Jiang. Fu asked Jiang if he was okay. Jiang was surprised to see them and asked, why are you guys here? Li Xiao grabbed Jiang's hand and asked him if he was okay because the monitor had shown Jiang had gone to the morgue. She asked Jiang what they should do now. Jiang told them that he had met the head nurse at the morgue, but he didn't know why she hadn't attacked him. He warned them that nightmare mode isn't a joke, especially for someone who doesn't have any resurrection points anymore. Jiang suggested that they all stop now. They all understood what Jiang meant. However, Li Jiahao didn't want to stop. He said, even if it's dangerous, if I can clear this challenge, the clearing reward will be even better. Fu asked him if he was crazy. For beginners like us, nightmare mode has a near 100% mortality rate. Do you want to die? Li Jiahao said, of course not, but I have no choice. Since I've already taken all of your coins, if I go back now, I'll definitely be required to compensate everyone. Both Li Xiao and Fu became emotional upon hearing that. But Fu was still scared. Even though the group leader has a great fighting spirit, I still feel that my life is the most important. I'll stop first, so as not to hinder you. Before leaving the mystery world, Fu told his brother Jiang to do his best, and that he trusted him. After he left, Jiang asked them if they really did not want to stop. Jiang mentioned a proverb that says, life is only once. If you die, then it's the end. However, Jiang had no idea that both of them were relying on him. Both of them immediately grabbed Jiang's legs, asking him for help, and looked at him with hope in their eyes. Seeing them like that, Jiang said, all right, I get it, but let me say this first. If you guys want to put your lives at risk, I'm not responsible for your deaths. On the other hand, in the morgue, the head nurse was still standing in front of that diary. Looking at it, she said, finally, I've been waiting for this mode for a long time. and licked her lips, adding, "This is my favorite mode. In the diary, the killer from 50 years ago is revealed to be the head nurse.